Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV, and we are joined by the boys in blue, or the Blues Brothers, sort of. I don't know which is which, but you got Mike Bolt from the Blue and Bernard Deneen, the Citizen Channel. Go on, boys, give us a song. You know, everybody needs somebody. Come on.
No, it's just. I mean, Gundo's just wrecked our song, hasn't he? What we've got to sing now? We're going to have to sing the best team. You know,
Gundo's on fire.
We have the best team rather than we are the best team in the world now. And put the words into it. He's cocked it up. He's cocked everything up.
Guys,
Bernardo might go and cock it up again. He might do the second line in as well, the third line in. So we're in trouble here.
Well, Bernard's already mentioned who we're going to talk about today. We are talking about Ilkay Gundogan, Manchester City's captain, who I heard on the radio a few days ago. They said he will go down in folklore. He will be, Bernard's not going to call him a legend, but he's a hero or whatever you want to call him. He was club captain. He lifted that Premier League crown, that three-peat, the FA Cup, by beating our dirty neighbours just outside Manchester, and that Champions League trophy, first time we've ever won it, banged in the treble as well. And I've got to say, Bernard, what a way to sign off at City by winning everything.
Very lucky chap, because he was going anyway. He knew at the start of the season he was going. He probably knew last season he was going. He was very lucky that he ended on such a high with all our love and kisses, because he owed us a bit. He gave it back, and he gave it back in spades this season. But in all fairness, he struck a bit lucky, because I think Mr. Gundo was on his way. Whatever happened this season, I think.
Wow!
I think his missus and his girlfriend, when they got together, I don't know when they got together. I think that was the plan. He didn't want a new contract. He was offered a contract, whether it wasn't obviously what he wanted. And he decided he wanted to go, and he just struck lucky, really, that he's left with all our love and kisses because of what he's done this season.
I've got to answer that more, take that point to task a little bit. His wife said it's got nothing to do with her.
She's a woman. She's bound to say that.
Oh, come on, Bernard.
Gundo would have signed a contract last year with a year left on his contract. He wanted to go for whatever reason, whether it's his wife. I'm only saying it's his wife. It might be a combination of things, but all I'm saying is Gundo had no inclination. You know, this is great. This has fell right for him. He's done the treble, so what more is there to do? So I'm going. But I think he always wanted to go anyway.
In his defence, you're laying into him. He's been playing football for basically 15 years. Okay, he's been playing out.
I'm not laying into him. I'm just stating facts. I think he wanted to go. I'm not saying.
No,
I agree. I'm not laying into him. All credit to him. He won the league for us last season.
I agree. I think he wanted to go, but there's lots of things. What I'm saying is, I think he's not made a football choice. He's made a lifestyle choice. I think that's it. And Pep might have been talking about the old days and Barcelona and all that, singing their praises. And maybe that got into it. Maybe Gundogan liked Barcelona when he was a kid. When he was coming through, when Gundogan was coming through in his first season in the second division, I think, in Germany or something like that, in 2008, 2009, who were the best team in the world? Barcelona. So maybe
you get me right. I don't blame him one iota. I think he's made the right choice for him. And he paid us back in spades. I just said he was lucky that he paid us back in double spades, because obviously what happened this season.
Yeah, I'll also say he's got a little babby, hasn't he? Got a little baby. And when I had kids, where did I scarpered off to Paris for 10 years, didn't I? So, you had the choice. Manchester, Paris. Manchester, Barcelona. Now, if you're not xenophobic or whatever, if you're happy to travel, it's for every week. Manchester's got plenty of culture. It gets knocked far too easily, but it's got plenty of culture and history and everything else. But Barcelona has a little bit more, what's the right word, romance to it. People are really shocked that I give up Paris for Manchester, and best football going is in Manchester. You've got to come back for that. And even Mike, after so many years abroad in Japan and South Korea, he's coming back because, excuse me, he wants to watch the best football going. And Mike, slightly different question. Do you think Gundogan was part of the team that produced the best football going for City under Pep, or even before Pep, Mancini and Pellegrini, in the last 15, 20 years. And how integral was he to what we have achieved in the last 6 or 7 years?
Well, I don't often agree with Bernard, but I'm going to have to agree with him here. I think that until the season before last, he was an effective substitute for Fernandinho. But he really began to shine in the last 2 seasons. I mean, he, as you rightly pointed out, he won us the league last season. He won us the FA Cup this season. I don't know if Bernard would agree, but I think he would probably one of those players that you would qualify as having had an Indian summer. I'm not saying that in a kind of like a racist way. I'm saying that in his last couple of seasons, he's really shone, and I don't think that this is a time for us to mourn about it. I think that we have got the best out of him. We've got the best out of him, and I think that. He's been a wonderful guy for us. Very softly spoken, very lovely fella. But I think we've had his best years, Bernard. And I think he'll go off to Barcelona. He'll do a couple of nice things, but I think as a combative midfielder, you don't get to go to 38 or 39 like Ibrahimovic. You kind of like fade away slowly, I think. So I think guys, we got the best out of Gundo, and we wish him all the best.
Mike, I will take you to task, because Gundo's not done it for the last 2 seasons. He's done it for the last 3 seasons. So his Indian summer, his purple patch, has lasted half his career at City. He scored. Go on, I'll ask you both this question, okay? In the last 3 seasons combined, how many goals has Gundogan scored? Bernard, you first. And a prize if someone gets it spot on. Total goals in the last.
Well, yeah, I'm doing me thing on him over the next few weeks. Obviously, he's my vlog on his time here, so I would have known in a few weeks' time because I would have done it. But I'll go for 27.
27 says Bernard. That's total goals in all competitions, yeah?
All competitions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
27? Mike, what do you reckon?
I'd say about 30, and probably about 14 or 13 and 14 assists as well.
So Bernard's going 27, Mike's going 30. See, Ilkay Gundogan is so underrated. So underrated, okay? 3 seasons back, he scored 17 goals that season, 13 in the league. He was one of our tops. Was he our top scorer that season because Aguero was injured? So in the last 3 seasons, Ilkay Gundogan has scored 38 goals. 38 goals in the last 3 seasons. So he's been popping up with lots of goals. So I think in his first few seasons, obviously he had lots of competition. You got David Silva there. You had Yaya Toure there. As you let's say you're more attacking, was David Silva. More defensive was a bit Yaya, but obviously box to box as well. You had KDB as well, and you have Gundogan and Rodri or Fernandinho as well. So there was a lot of competition for places, and now there's not as much competition. He's flourished in the last.
I think it's a little bit unfair to try to do goal tallies for midfielders like Gundogan. I mean, he's been great. He's been absolutely fantastic the last 2 seasons, but you don't expect that return out of that kind of player.
No.
And Bernard was exactly right. He's had an Indian summer. He had a great year this year. Had a great year last year. He wasn't that impressive before that. And guys,
I've got to stop.
Sorry, Ray. One more thing. He made no impression in the Champions League final as well.
Yeah,
so
who did? My point is, you say it's only the 2 years. 3 years ago, he scored. He was a top scorer, I think, with 13 goals in the Premier League. He was City's top scorer. He's got 17 goals.
So yeah, I was referring to his first couple of years, I think.
His first season he was injured, so I'm ignoring that. He's following 3 seasons, he didn't score a lot of goals, but he's not there to score a lot of goals. But you had David Silva, you had Yaya Toure. Once they departed, Gundogan, I think, was able to play further forward on a more regular and consistent basis. And you saw the way, when he was false 9, he would just drift into that box late on, like Frank Lampard. And he had.
I think Gundogan used to flourish more when KDB was injured, and he came in.
Yeah, Ray. I think the point that I'm trying to make that it's a loss, of course. But
we lost Mike. Is Mike back?
Yeah, it's not a pivotal loss. It's a loss, but it's not a pivotal loss, I think.
I agree with that point, Mike. I'll agree with that. He's a huge player for City, but I'll go through some names. In the recent past, we lost Yaya Toure. Immense player when he was on the top of his game. Immense. Okay. It didn't stop City. We carried on, steamrolling teams out of the way. We lost David Silva a couple of seasons back. Some of us cried when David Silva left. Not me. But City carried on. And
Nasri
winning. Well, Nasri was 7 years ago, mate. It's a bit longer ago. I'm just looking at the last few years. We lost Vincent Kompany after the formidable season in 2019. We've not done bad since. We lost Fernandinho, the aforementioned Fernandinho. Okay. We carried on. We lost Sergio Aguero, our all-time top scorer. Who's second, Mike? Who's second in the list? I'm going to ask you a question. Who's second in the list? Bernard knows.
Of what you mean?
Man City's top goal scorer. What time are you looking, Bernard?
EB.
Raheem Sterling, maybe.
Behave, Mike. Eric Brook.
EB initial. Yeah, that's the one.
Oh my gosh! If you're going back in history and talking about Eric Brook, for goodness sake, okay.
City's second top scorer. I mean, Aguero beat that record. Was it against Napoli? I think it was against Napoli where he beat.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah.
I thought you were talking about recent seasons. Okay.
What I'm saying is we've lost top quality players and we've still chugged on. And I think the one constant in all that is Pep. So Pep makes a difference. I'm just going to go back to when Gundogan came to City and to ask you guys what you thought. We signed this player who was, I think, 25 years old at the time. He was injured. We paid 22 million pounds for him. People thought it's going to be another Rocky Santa Cruz, who we paid about 80 million quid for under Mike Hughes. He was bobbins. But when we signed Ilkay Gundogan, were you underwhelmed with the signing, or what did you actually feel when we signed him? Did you think anything of it?
I think with it being Pep's first signing, you had to believe that obviously Pep knew something we didn't, and it proved correct. He did know something we particularly didn't. But as you said, that first season, he did his cruise ship, didn't he? He was out for 9 months or something ridiculous. And then when he did come back, he was hesitant. He didn't want to get injured again. So for months he played under the fact that he didn't want to risk himself. So we didn't, that first 2.5, 3 seasons, you may as well have not been there.
Yeah, he didn't get the. But also, I think he didn't get as much opportunity. You got to come.
That's what I mean. He couldn't bed in properly. You think of Phillips and injuries. I mean, you got to hit the ground running. Pep's first season was pretty abysmal after the first 10 games, which was superb, of course. But once he got himself sorted out, and Gundogan was just a squad player, very early doors.
Yeah, Mike, what were your initial thoughts when I mean, I'm going to say. When Sergio Aguero started, his first game was a stormer against Swansea, scored 2 goals, got an assist. We thought, wow, we knew we'd signed a player.
It was a slow burn, wasn't he? A slow burn, Gundogan.
So, Mike, when we signed Gundogan, were you not perturbed? Did he excite you? How did you feel? What were your emotions like?
I think I agree with Bernard. I think it was a slow burn. We signed a player with a broken back for 20 million. But obviously Pep could see things in him that no one else could. At Dortmund, he was an effective and penetrative young midfielder. He hadn't set the world alight, but he certainly was someone who had a lot of potential. He had a huge back injury when we got him, and then he got another injury again straight after that, which was probably connected. After he recovered, he did a decent season. And then in the last couple of seasons, he's been a fantastic sort of like Frank Lampard, like arriving late in the box goal scorer. And he's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant for us. But I think that you think about his situation now. He's won everything in the game.
Apart from the World Cup.
He's been at City for He's been at City for 7 years. I think that he's entitled to walk away with his head held high. I think.
Absolutely, and no question about that.
Just saying about the injuries being linked. I'm not sure the cruciate is linked to the backbone, but you know, there's a song somewhere.
I don't know, Bernard. Are you
backbone? The backbone's linked to the.
Are you a physiotherapist? I don't know. I think they're kind of linked. I think they're kind of linked.
Everybody's linked in some way, but to go from your back to your cruciate, it's a bit pushing it, I think.
Yeah, no, the cruciate is normally you do your cruciate, but obviously you can do it by twisting. Or I think I did my lateral ligaments by getting my foot caught in the ground or twisting it and slipping. You don't do your back. You don't do your backing like that. I think the two very unrelated injuries. But
by trying to protect his back, he could have caused his cruciate by worrying about his back.
No, I think for me, actually, it was his worrying about his cruciate where he was not as good as we thought he'd be. I think that's where he was a bit more ginger.
Yeah, that's where it all went wrong when he did that, not his back. Yeah.
So, well, I mean, obviously he's gone to Barca. Barca, the reasons we've discussed some of them, but Barcelona have offered him a 3 year.
I don't know why anyone goes there, guys. I don't know that. I don't understand that.
Well, they're a name, mate. I mean, that's simple as Ray said earlier on. It's still a big
name.
They're
bankrupt. They're absolutely bankrupt, guys. Come on.
That doesn't mean, like, United are a mess at the moment. Doesn't mean they're always going to be a mess, and Barcelona won't always be a mess.
Barcelona.
But Bernard, they are absolutely. I mean, Colin has proved this. They're absolutely bankrupt. I don't know. I don't know how they're getting players to sign for them.
So name who they are. It's Barcelona.
But no, Mike. People say the same thing about Man City. And we don't care. Barcelona don't care. They've signed Ilkay Gundogan. We can say where they're getting the money from as much as we like. They've signed him on a 3 year deal. He's taken a pay cut to go to Barcelona because they've given him that 3 year contract. Now, the normal thing at City is a 1 year contract with the option, usually up to the club, of an additional year. Now, he wants, this is going to be his last major contract, unless he goes to somewhere like Saudi Arabia. So, by the time he finishes, he's going to be the best part of 36 years old. Okay, he's 32 now. He'll be 33 in October, so he'll be the best part of 36 years old.
Guys, I apologize. I think the one thing that really annoys me, that's really annoying me, is the fact that I think Bernardo Silva is going to go there as well, and that kind of really pisses me off.
There's a huge difference between Ilkay Gundogan going on a free transfer, getting maybe a 10, 50 million pound sign-on fee, taking a wage cut, than Bernardo Silva. City he's not going to go on a free. He's got a couple of years left in his contract. City will extract money out of whoever's paying, So I'm not worried about that. Barcelona can't afford to pay 60 or what City want 100 million. They just cannot afford it. Real Madrid have paid that for Bellingham. They're going to struggle. They want Mbappe, but they're going to struggle to get Mbappe this year because they can't pay the money to get him. They're going to wait for him to go on a free next year, I think, more than likely. But So there's a lot of draw to Barcelona. As much as you might despise them, Mike, and hate them, almost as much as your agenda with Riyad Mahrez is, Mike. But if we dislike them, there is a draw to them. Look at players who go to Real Madrid. Brahim Diaz was at City. He went to Real Madrid because they were his boyhood team. He was a fan of them, and he would walk on water, crawl over hot coals to go and play at the Bernabeu. So they do have a draw, and they're La Liga champions. They won La Liga. I don't know about the coach, but they won.
Yeah, how hard is that?
But they won it. Who cares? They won it, and that's it. How hard was it for City to win the league? I mean, it was only hard. They were the only challengers. People are going to say the same. My point is, there's a lot of reasons to go there for him, and I can see them. A 3-year contract is, I think, a big draw. I don't think it's just.
But is that what he got? Did he get a 3-year contract with them?
A 3-year contract instead of 1 year with City.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
I think all this adds up, and also if
don't forget he's got his coaching ability as well. He's probably might have that in the after Barca as well going up later on.
Yeah, his coaching ability that he got from Pep at Man City.
He's a good.
Doesn't matter where he got it, does it? It doesn't matter where all these guys leaving City because they work for Pep that come scurrying back if it doesn't work out. But that's just how it is.
But the thing is, he's got this 3-year contract. He's going to be happy with that. The other thing I think that can have an impact is if there are rumours of players coming in. Now, there was rumours about Jude Bellingham. And Ilkay might look at it and say, well, if Bellingham comes, how much games am I going to get? He might be protective of himself. We've seen players who are looking at Laporte. We discussed Laporte and said, he's looking around and thinking, how much game time am I going to get? And if we get Guardiol, I'm going to get even less. So he could be looking to leave. So Gundogan might just be looking to the future and said, look, I've got one big move left. This is the time to make that move. He will get, saying he's not bothered about the money, but he'll get a decent signing bonus out of this. And also, as I said, he might have been worried that he wouldn't get as much game time, because if we did get, as I said, Jude Bellingham, someone's going to miss out. And as Foden hopefully gets back to form and fitness next season, someone is going to miss out. And I think that, he was missing out a little bit at times earlier in the season, and then finally Pep decided on his best team. Bernard, I've asked you this question before. I know the answer, but for anybody new, anybody new, please subscribe to the channel. We've done really well in the last couple of weeks. Now that I got Bernard back on the channel, his videos, everybody wants to see Bernard. Don't want to see Mike. Mike's always an avatar, but we are trying. We'll draw Mike's ugly mug on the channel at one point. When he's back in Manchester, definitely I'll have him on in real life. But I've asked you this before. Gundogan's been here 7 years. He's won the Champions League. He's won 5 league titles. He's won 4 league cups. He's won 2 FA Cups, 2 Community Shields. Come on. Surely, Ilkay Gundogan is a legend, and he deserves a statue, just like David Silva, just like Sergio Aguero, just like Vincent. Come on, Bernard.
You know what's missing with Gundo, don't you? Always has been missing with Gundo. That little X factor, they call it, don't they? That little X factor that makes him up on that higher plinth. I'm sorry, he doesn't have the X factor.
Are you saying that he's just too nice?
Well, he's just too bland. That's a horrible thing to say. I mean, I'm going to be harsh here, guys. When Gundo lifted the title Premier League trophy, of course, it was Furner last year, wasn't it? When Gundo lifted that, and he lifted the FA Cup, and he lifted the Champions League trophy, I really wanted it. I thought, why wasn't it Kompany? Why wasn't it? That's a horrible thing to say, but that's what I felt. I wanted it to be one of my big heroes. I like Gundogan.
You wanted it to be Ruben Diaz, didn't you?
Even Diaz, that's what I'm saying. But all I'm saying is he was a captain. That's his responsibility. Yeah. But all I'm saying, I would have loved, I wanted company with it. I wanted, of the old player. I'm not going to say Diaz because Diaz is part of the management leadership team, whatever they have. So he's there. He'll get his chance, obviously, over the next 2 or 3 seasons anyway. But I just wanted, I know that's a horrible thing to say, but Gundogan didn't have that X factor. He will get a mosaic, as far as I'm concerned. He won't get a statue. And I thank him because he's been part of a wonderful, wonderful team this year. He dragged us to that title last year. I'll always be grateful to him, but he's not a statue to me. And as I say, I was a bit not disappointed. It's wonderful for him. Just that little bit of something missing for me that stops him being a legend.
You know what I think, Ray? You know what I think? I think Bernard misses the real characters, like the people like Rodney Marsh and people like that.
A long time ago. We're in the modern era now. We're talking about new stars. But I've got to say, as I finish, the guys aren't usually like this. Ilkay Gundogan's just finished 7 years and it's all, I thought it'd be real positive, real blowing smoke up his backside kind of video.
No. Hold on a minute, Ray. Hold on a minute.
Oh, wait.
We are very, very grateful to for what he did for us.
Thank you.
We are immensely grateful for what he did for us. We think he was a great player. We're just a bit pissed off that he left when he didn't have to. We could have got 2 more years out of him. We've ended up signing someone that is not anything like him. So yeah.
When you come back to Manchester, I bet you all your students will be crying. They'll be in floods of tears to see Mr.
At this point in time, guys, the fact is the City squad is lesser than it was at this point in time.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see who we get in the summer then. We'll see who's going to replace Gundogan, possibly Bernardo, possibly Mahrez, possibly Laporte. There's possibly Philip. A lot's going to happen. This is going to be, I believe, a monumental summer.
Well done to Gundo. He served us well, and we're very, very great. We are very grateful for it.
That's more like it. A bit more brown nosing. That's what we need.
Gundo made the city cry. Gundo made the city cry. There we go.
There you go, Bernard. On that bum note, I'm going to have to call it a day, guys. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Bernard. Thanks, Mike. Thanks to you. And you know who you are, all you guys out on YouTube watching us, ugly old bleeders, on your laptop or everybody's laptop or your phone these days. Thank you so much for joining us. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are doing a ton of stuff for you. I can't believe you'll see any more handsome people on YouTube for Man City. I've seen some of them, guys, and I tell you what.
I'm on YouTube. I'm handsome. Behave.
I said you won't see any more handsome people.
All right, okay. I'll let you
YouTube. Okay. I said, I've seen some of those other YouTubers. I'm not naming any names, but some of them are so ugly. I mean, if I had a dog, I'd shave its backside and teach it to walk backwards.
Hey, Ray, before we go, tell us about that shirt. You've got a beautiful shirt there. With that looks like from the 1900s.
Even before that, isn't it, Bernard?
Yeah, 1880 odd, 1890 St. Mark's.
Yeah. I mean, Bernard got it for me in the club shop back in 1888.
I loaned it to him. I started in it. That was my shirt that I started the first game from him.
Yeah, it's a replica. I don't think they do them anymore.
It's really hard to get that shirt now, I can tell you.
Yeah, no, it's a really nice shirt. I hardly wear it anymore. But as I said to Bernard the other day, I've got over 100 shirts and jackets and whatever, training shirts. And, when I lived in France, I used to wear them all the time, down in the street. I let everybody know. But obviously,
for the listeners, he's wearing a black shirt with a white cross on it, guys, just like City used to wear back in the old days. So I'm very jealous of him. I can't get that shirt.
City then. They weren't called City, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No, I've been on to Mark McCarthy about getting a shirt like that. It's not easy. It's not easy.
You can't get an original. Let's put it that way. There'll be no original. There'll be one more. Guys, thank you so much. I need to go. I need to do some editing, and I need to get ready for my trip to Northern Ireland.
Oh, but Jesus.
Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland. So I get my practice in for my accent for when I go. And but I will be enjoying myself in Northern Ireland next week, guys. Keep it here, keep it safe on TV. Tons more stuff this summer. There is going to be, finally, just going to mention, there is going to be a finance video coming up.
Oh yeah, that's coming. Coming
up very soon indeed. Guys, look after yourselves. Keep it here, keep it real, keep it City. See you around.
Up the Blues.
Up the Blues, guys.